I'm Tia Borden with Mining IR. It is day 3 at the Resourcing Tomorrow conference brought to you by Mines and Money here in London. Joining me is the lovely Tony Rivera, Managing Director of Azure Resources.
Azure Minerals.
Minerals.
That's what we're looking for.
Well, you're going to tell me all about it. Can you give me a little bit of background on the company?
Yes, certainly. Azure Minerals is an Australian company listed on the ASX, and we're currently exploring and developing a nickel project in Western Australia. And it's been coming along really well. We've spent 2 years of drilling non-stop out there, and we've got resources. We're completing our development study, scoping study, moving into feasibility study. So it's a very exciting time.
You're busy.
Oh, very busy,
and
yes.
You have one large project on the go currently, but it has a number of different components to it.
That's right. So Andover is originally, and still is, it's a nickel-focused project. So we've got nickel and copper and cobalt sulfide mineralisation. So it's a very attractive project from the battery metals space. But more recently, we've also been out there doing regional exploration. We've discovered a lot of this rock type called pegmatites, which have got lithium in them. They're lithium enriched. So this is a project that just keeps on giving and delivering to us. And the more exploration we do out there, the more we're finding, and it's a fantastic project.
You gotta love when you find a little extra, right?
Absolutely,
thrown into the mix, a little bonus. Now, what are some of the successes that you've experienced over the past year?
Well, we've been drilling on the nickel for 2 years now, and we've drilled over 200 diamond drill holes for about 90,000 metres of drilling, and probably a good 3/4 of those holes that we've drilled have hit substantial nickel and copper mineralisation within them. So that's why the project, from the nickel and copper perspective, keeps on growing. We've defined 2 deposits. The first of those is called the Andover deposit, and we released the resource on that back in March of this year. And the second deposit is called Ridgeline, and we're currently calculating the resource for that one, and that'll be released in January of next year. So these 2 deposits, and they're right next door to each other, they're only like 200 metres apart. And so there will be a single mine development that for an underground mining operation that will extract the mineralisation. And we're currently doing feasibility studies into whether we can have a combined mining and processing operation there for the nickel. The beauty about the Andover project is its location.
Where is it based?
It's in the West Pilbara region of Western Australia, so it's one of the most highly infrastructure-rich regions from a mining perspective in Australia. So just to the south of us, we've got Rio Tinto's iron ore mines. Just to the north of us, we have Woodside's offshore and onshore oil, gas and LNG processing facilities. There's enormous big salt mining operations up there as well. There's railways, there's ports, there's roads and highways and water pipelines and everything.
A bar and a restaurant?
Yes, absolutely. And a town of 30 or 40,000 people just down the road. So from an infrastructure point of view, you couldn't get a better located project. And so we have this great project in a great location, and it's certainly well on its way to becoming a mining operation.
That is a bit, being in a developed mining jurisdiction is very important, and I think it sounds like you're completely set up.
That's right, and the challenge for us now is that because we've found this lithium on there as well, so we've had to develop or build a second team. So we've got a nickel-focused team that have been so busy for the last 2 years. Now I've had to grab a couple of those guys and hire some more people and put them out there exploring for the lithium, and we could have literally several different sort of mining and processing operations on that one project.
Do you think your
remarkable.
team will grow?
Oh, absolutely,
over
yes.
the next couple of years?
Yes, because with the once the scoping study PEA is released in the first quarter of next year, we'll probably move straight into a definitive feasibility study. So that means bringing on board engineers and metallurgists, and rather than just exploration geologists. So we'll have that team is going to continue to build. We see a timeline ahead of us where potentially, if there's an 18-month period to complete the definitive feasibility study, that takes us through to maybe the end of 2024. And then, given that there would be a successful outcome from that, we could move straight into the permitting and the financing and the construction. So maybe 4 years from now, 2026, we could see a mining and processing operation for the nickel underway at Andover.
A lot to look forward to.
Oh,
It sounds
absolutely.
very exciting. Now, what are the top 3 reasons, if you could only choose 3, for investors to invest with you?
Well, I think firstly it's the commodities that we're in. So your nickel and your copper and your cobalt, and also the lithium, are the high value end of the battery metals spectrum. And we've got a lot of all of those 4 commodities on our property. So we're great exposure to those high value commodities. Secondly, the project is well advanced, so we can see quite clearly a pathway from the current stage of development, early stage development studies, all the way through to a mining and processing operation within the next, say, call it 4 years from now. So that pathway is there. So we've got the right commodities, we've got a pathway ahead to production, and then we've built the team, and we've got the team, and we're well funded with some very supportive large shareholders as well. So yes, I think that we're well on track for becoming a mining company.
Very exciting. Is there anything that you would like to leave our viewers with, Tony, before I let you go and meander around the rest of the conference?
Yes, I just think that from an investor's point of view, Azure Minerals is definitely a company to be looking at and focused on, because as I said, we're moving from that exploration stage through development into production, and that means cash flow and coming into the company, and hopefully we'll maybe dividends back to the shareholders in time.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning, and I hope to see you at the gala tonight.
Yes, thank you. Look forward to it.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks to you.